Things got heated today at Kansas City Chiefs training camp. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Kansas City Chiefs face setback after a heated training camp. Chiefs face training camp setback as 2 players carted off field with concerning injuries. The goal is always to enter the NFL season as close to full health as possible. One of those players was wide receiver Kadarius Toney, who is described to have an ankle injury after falling awkwardly. According to Fox 4 News Kansas City's PJ Green, Toney landed awkwardly after going up for a jump ball and had to be carted off of the field. After practice, head coach Andy Reid confirmed that it was an ankle injury for Toney but would not go into detail about the severity. Shortly after the Toney injury, linebacker Nick Bolton had to go into the medical tent with an elbow injury and was later carted to the locker room. The injury was said to have come from a tackle attempt that Bolton had on Mecole Hardman. Toney is among the most enthralling offensive players in the league. Though he has dealt with a lot of injuries and time away from the field in his career, Toney is a dynamic threat with the ball in his hands. He also had a long punt return and a fourth-quarter touchdown in Kansas City's Super Bowl LVEI win over the Philadelphia Eagles. As for Bolton, he is one of the mainstays of the defense, racking up 240 total tackles over the last 2 seasons. It is unclear how severe either injury is, but Chiefs fans have to be hoping for the best news possible if they are going to try and complete their three-peat. The Kansas City Chiefs are fully in the swing of training camp as they prepare for the 2024 season. While the left tackle battle heats up between rookie second-round pick Kingsley Suamataia and second-year third-rounder Wanya Morris, some analysts are looking to add another name to the mix. Should the Chiefs make an acquisition to add a veteran presence to their offensive line? That was an ongoing question throughout much of the offseason, but the Chiefs' decision to leave last year's starter, veteran Donovan Smith, unsigned in free agency, and the drafting of Suamataia were strong votes of confidence in the young incumbents. Still, that isn't enough for Alex Ballentine of Bleacher Report, who believes the Chiefs should acquire Cleveland Browns tackle Jack Conklin in exchange for a 2025 third-round and fifth-round draft pick. Italicized below, here's what Ballentine had to say about the Chiefs' tackle situation. If there's a contender that should be willing to take a big swing in the trade market, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. The opportunity to chase a 3rd straight Super Bowl isn't one that comes along often. One of the things that could quickly destroy the Chiefs' repeat chances is their current situation at left tackle. The Chiefs are set to have a competition between Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia to determine the starter. Morris saw the field as a rookie and experienced a steep learning curve. He picked up a PF grade of 55.6, with 3 penalties and 2 sacks allowed. The Chiefs used a second-round selection on Suamataia, but he's only 21 years old and might take a while to develop before he's ready for the lofty task of protecting Mahomes' blind side. Ideally, the Chiefs would be able to add a veteran tackle to the mix. That's tough to do this time of year, but the Browns have a unique situation that could open a window. Jack Conklin has been one of the better right tackles in the league, but an injury forced him out of the lineup last season, and rookie Dawan Jones looked good in his spot. That could make the healthy Conklin expendable moving forward, and he'd provide stiff competition for Morris, Suamataia, and right tackle Jawan Taylor. Trading for Conklin would likely be costly in terms of draft capital, but would create stability on the edges. With apologies to Ballentine, and noting my disappointment in other and even more outrageous Bleacher Report theoretical moves earlier this offseason, this take has jumped the shark. It's time for a new angle. The second story is Chiefs try position change for cut candidate in potential last-ditch effort. After being selected in round 3 of the 2020 NFL Draft, offensive tackle Lucas Niang's career with the Kansas City Chiefs has not gone as planned. Niang opted out of his rookie season due to the pandemic and then suffered a torn patellar tendon at the tail end of 2021 campaign. Since then, he's never quite been the same and quickly lost the right tackle job to Andrew Wiley and Jawan Taylor. Now, there's an ongoing left tackle competition at 2024 training camp, and Niang is hardly involved as draft picks Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia have received the majority of the reps. Instead, the disappointing prospect has typically slotted into a backup tackle role until an unexpected development provided Niang with a new opportunity. Here's the first bit of depth chart news of today's Chiefs practice. The Athletic's Nate Taylor report on July 23rd. Lucas Niang is with the projected starters at left guard next to Wanya Morris. Others confirmed this guard experiment, which occurred with Joe Thuney sidelined, including A to Z Sports Kansas City reporter Charles Goldman during an article on July 24th. A major development this offseason is that Niang isn't just playing offensive tackle, he shifted inside to play on the interior offensive line as a starter at left guard on Tuesday, and he looked like a natural doing it, Goldman wrote. Could Niang be the one to slot in for Thuney as he recovers from injury while also playing a backup tackle role? Arrowhead Pride beat writer Pete Sweeney was less convinced, predicting Niang would be cut during a 53-man projection on July 25th. Niang's recent work at guard has led me to think that the Chiefs are making a last-ditch effort to find some upside as they face a tough decision, Sweeney explained. Needless to say, versatility can only help or perhaps save Niang's chances of making the roster during the final year of his rookie contract. The Chiefs can shed approximately $1.11 million by releasing Niang in 2024, according to Over the Cap. And don't forget that they just added 3 new offensive linemen in the draft. Those prospects being Suamataia, Hunter Nourzad, and CJ Hansen. Nourzad got his shot with the starters at left guard on July 24th, per Goldman. The rookie had previously taken some second-team repetitions at both guard spots, but on Wednesday, he got his chance to fill in for Joe Thuney at left guard alongside Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith on the inside, a reporter relayed. Although Nourzad was a center at Penn State in 2023, he's known for his versatility, which is a trait the Chiefs love for all of their offensive linemen. Niang is hoping to tap into that as he competes with Nourzad, Hansen, 2022 UDFA Mike Caliendo, former international prospect Chu Godric, and 2024 UDFA Ethan Driscoll, among others at training camp. Circling back to Sweeney's 53-man projection, the longtime Chiefs beat reporter has KC keeping 9 offensive linemen during his initial prediction. Mike Caliendo, who dressed for 8 games last season, filled in for Thuney at left guard during the first few days of training camp. I see him as a potential candidate to take over Nick Allegretti's swing interior role, Sweeney reasoned. Continuing, the Chiefs drafted Nourzad in the 5th round as a developmental interior lineman, and Chu Godric's recent reps with the first team in camp have made me believe that offensive line coach Andy Heck may deem him ready for the big show. This battle should be considered ongoing as training camp pushes on. The third story is Travis Kelce admits 2023 season was pretty taxing on my body ahead of Chiefs camp. Travis Kelce put his body on the line in his quest to lead the Kansas City Chiefs to a second straight Super Bowl in 2023. Following the Kansas City Chiefs training camp session on Saturday, Kelce admitted that the Chiefs' recent long seasons have taken a toll on his body. Last year was pretty taxing on my body, Kelce told reporters. I've had more snaps than a lot of guys, if not everybody in the NFL, over the past 5-6 years, and I'm very prideful of that, but I know it has taken a toll on my body. Kansas City has advanced to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship in 6 consecutive seasons. This includes 3 Super Bowl victories, 1 Super Bowl loss, and 2 conference championships that reached overtime. This stretch has seen the Chiefs play plenty of bonus football, and Kelce's slight dip in output in 2023 seemed to have reflected that. He had 93 catches for 984 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2023. This was his first sub-1,000-yard season since 2015 and his lowest touchdown total since 2019. Still, he led the Chiefs in receiving yards and also had a strong postseason with 32 catches for 355 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also earned a Pro Bowl nod for his performance during the season. The 34-year-old will now approach his 12th season with hopes of exceeding 1,000 yards once again, and helping the Chiefs become the first team since the 1965-67 Green Bay Packers to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. The Kansas City Chiefs have a multitude of reasons to be excited entering the 2024 season, and wide receiver Xavier Worthy sits at or near the top of the list. Worthy, the club's first-round pick in the NFL draft, is expected to play a solid role in a somewhat revamped receiving corps. While a lot of familiar names can be found at the end of the projected depth chart, there are some new ones to accompany Rashee Rice at the top. Marquise Hollywood Brown was signed during the offseason to add athleticism and route-running chops to the offense, then Worthy got selected to do the same. Kansas City's prized draft pick has high expectations in year 1, especially considering his record-setting speed.